The Emperor's New Clothes by Hans Christian Andersen. Long ago and far away, there lived an emperor. The emperor was the most powerful man in the world. He was also the richest. He loved expensive and beautiful things, palaces, gold, and jewels. But most of all, he loved clothes, hats, gloves, and coats, all sewn from the finest velvets and silks, marine blues, scarlet reds, deep forest greens, and all adorned with sparkling diamonds, sapphires, and rubies. The emperor liked nothing more than parading through the city and impressing his people. One day, the emperor was visited by two men. The two men told him they were weavers, and they could weave the most magnificent clothes in the land. What was even more incredible was that these were magical clothes, visible only to the best and cleverest of people, and invisible to anyone who was foolish or dumb. The emperor thought about how magnificent it would be to learn which of his people were clever and who was stupid, and ordered the weavers to make him some new clothes. The weavers demanded the emperor provide them with the finest silk and the purest thread, then set up two looms in the highest room of the highest tower of the palace. But the weavers did not begin to weave. Instead, they put the expensive silks in their bags, put up their feet, and enjoyed the fine food and wine that the emperor provided them with. After a week, the emperor sent his ministers to see the weavers' work. "Look at the fine weave, the beautiful patterns, and the rich colors," the weavers said, pointing to the empty loom. The ministers couldn't see anything, but they were too scared to say anything. They didn't want the emperor to think they were stupid. So the ministers looked at each other and said, "It's wonderful," and went back to tell the emperor. Over the next month, the emperor sent many more ministers to see the weavers at work. The response was always the same. "Magnificent, delightful, divine," they reported, to the emperor's great satisfaction. Soon, everyone in the city had heard about the weavers and their magical clothes, visible only to the cleverest of people. Everyone became very excited, and the emperor promised a procession to show off his new outfit. After 6 months, the emperor was told that his clothes were ready, and he went with his ministers to see them. The ministers all said, "How marvelous!" But the emperor couldn't see any clothes. "Why don't you try them on?" said one of the weavers. I will," said the emperor, and he stripped to his pants. "First the shirt," said the weavers, "then the trousers, now the coat." Everybody stared at the emperor. The emperor smiled. "The most beautiful clothes in the land," he said, and everybody cheered. The emperor told the two men that they were to become the palace's royal weavers and paid them both with great bags of gold. Outside, the people of the city gathered, waiting for the emperor's procession. But as the emperor arrived and marched in front of them, everyone stared at each other. Nobody wanted to admit that they could not see the emperor's clothes, so instead they cried out, "Gorgeous, exquisite, delightful." Suddenly, there was a shout from a young boy, "But he's not wearing any clothes." For a moment there was silence. Then, "He's right," said somebody else. "The emperor is naked." Before long, everyone was joining in, pointing at the emperor and laughing. The emperor was worried that the crowd was right, but he carried on, parading all the way around the city and back to his palace. When he returned, the two weavers were nowhere to be found.